Welcome to a brand new episode of Sequel Rights, the podcast where we take a look at the franchises that make you go, they made how many of those? And we give each and every sequel a fair trial. My name is Justin Kamps, and I'm here with
Elizabeth Helly
and special guest host Jordan Kamps.
Heyo!
All right, brother in the house.
Hey. Glad to be here.
Tyler is off enjoying the wonders of Europe this week, so we decided to give him a little break, even though I'm sure he would have loved to talk about the movie we're talking about this week.
Definitely.
Now, yeah. I mean, before we get too far into things, Eliz, where can people reach out?
Yeah, you can find us on Instagram, Blue Sky, Facebook, and YouTube at Sequel Rights. I remembered them all. Yay.
All right.
And then also, as Tyler would tell you, to please rate and review us because those stars go a long way, and share these episodes with a friend.
That's right. Please do. And I know last time I said the next movie we're talking about was The Conjuring, Devil Made Me Do It. But look, I forgot in that moment that we have something super fun to talk about this week. And it's one of our check-ins that we love to do. There's a brand new Naked Gun. The Naked Gun in theaters in 2025.
Woo!
What?
What? How is this possible? Starring Liam Neeson in the Frank Drebin role. Frank Drebin Jr. I'm so excited to talk about this. Why don't we dive right in?
Once you kill a man for revenge, there's no going back. A voice in your head sang over and over, "That was awesome."
Who are you?
Drebin. Detective Frank Drebin. Thanks.
Police Squad has always been the elite of the elite.
Hi, Daddy. It's me, Frank Jr. Love you.
Hey, Dad. Boy, do I miss you.
And you, Frank, are the best of the best.
Need a bathroom. I need this one immediately.
There's a line, man.
Police business. Oh, I'm gonna ruin another suit.
Over here, Lieutenant. I think someone murdered my brother.
Please, take a chair.
Thank you.
I'll find them. This is what I do. Says you served 20 years for man's laughter.
You mean manslaughter?
Must have been quite the joke.
All right. I'm like, you know what? This movie's so funny, I could just listen to a string of all the puns and one-liners.
They really threw a lot in the trailer. I was surprised.
It just brings it all back. It's so great.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot in the trailer, but there's also way more in the movie, and also the trailer doesn't give you any sense of like what, any sort of story is going on in this movie.
Right.
Yeah. So obviously everybody knows that Justin and I will have watched all the previous Naked Guns doing the podcast, but Jordan, what is your history with this franchise?
I've definitely seen all of them, but I feel like I've seen the first one more recently than the other two.
Sure.
Definitely saw those, when they were on reruns back in the day, but it's definitely been a while. I'm more, I think, a fan, and have definitely seen more of the Airplane movies than the Naked Gun movies, but similar style, similar humor. But I love Leslie Nielsen and love the Naked Gun movies.
Yeah, and I don't know if everyone wants to talk about, like, what did you think when this news came out that they were remaking or rebooting Naked Gun? Because I was like, what? You can't make that now? Like, the humor is not the same. We all feel weird about the police. Yeah. Like, who's going to be in this? Who's going to replace Leslie Nielsen? Like, everybody was just kind of like, no, yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I definitely was apprehensive about it. Like, cautiously optimistic, obviously if they were able to make like a good Naked Gun movie, I would love that because they're hilarious. But I was like, when they cast Liam Neeson, I was like, oh, okay, maybe. But also like, yeah, that could be kind of funny. I don't know. We'll have to see. And I still, I felt that way all the way up, like watching the trailers and everything. It's like, I don't know what's going to be like. Let's hope it's good. Please be good, please. And let's just say I'm glad they made this.
I think cautiously optimistic that's what I would say, but yeah. I kind of thought that Liam Neeson from the beginning, hearing that he was going to do it was great, because you need that main character to just be so straight, and you only ever know him as like this straight man and just like this gritty action star. So I think like casting him is like, that's what you think of Liam Neeson as, and he's like perfect in the role.
Yeah, I also felt like once they announced that Akiva Schaffer was directing, I was like, okay, I think we're in good hands here now, because like he's made some of the funniest movies of, modern day, I feel like, with Popstar and stuff. It's like, I was like, you know what? I think he's smart with comedy. He knows what he's doing. I think this is going to be good.
Yeah, I think for me, I paid attention when it first came out, but then I sort of lost track of what was going on. And then a couple of days before the movie came out, I saw on Rachel Bloom's Instagram that her husband, Dan Gregor, is one of the main writer-producers on the movie, and she also wrote for it. And so after I saw that, I was like, oh, it's going to be good, because obviously I love her and Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. And so, yeah, that helped. All right, so how did you guys see this movie, or where?
Jordan and I took time out of our precious Lollapalooza weekend to go see this at a 10 a.m. screening in Chicago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you go to AMC?
It was
rare
AMC,
Kamps
yeah.
Brothers. A rare Kamps Brothers movie viewing.
Yes, it was great.
That's nice. I saw it in lovely Lancaster, California, where I'm currently living out of a hotel and working. But I went Monday at 10:30 p.m. One of my colleagues and friend Kate was nice enough to go with me as well. And she had never seen any of the movies, didn't know anything about it. And I just kind of forgot to like warn her. So we're just like sitting there and the movie's like starting. She's like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, what did you bring me to? What is happening right now? And I was like, yeah, like the humor is just really literal. Like there was nobody in the theater except us and maybe like two other people. And it was not an AMC. So I spent the whole time being like, well, at AMC, they have this, and like they have Coca-Cola Freestyle and a water fountain. And like, I can't do that. Oh my gosh, this is so horrible. But yeah, the closest AMC is actually the one in Porter Ranch, the literal Nicole commercial AMC, but that would have been like an hour drive for me. Oof. So
yeah, we were talking a little bit like how it was like we were slightly bummed to be seeing such an early showing, because there was like barely, there were like, I don't know, maybe 10 other people in there. And so there were certain times where I felt like I was like Jordan and I the only people laughing in the theater, but
yeah.
There were definitely times some guy in the back was cackling out loud.
That's true.
It was fine.
Good for him.
We still had a good time. And yeah. I laughed so hard multiple times that I had tears coming out my eyes. So,
oh my gosh,
absolutely.
It was so great. Yeah, I mean, there was a big question. I had, still curious. Like, I know that it got really good reviews from critics, and I was like, still really curious what like modern audiences would think of the humor. I feel like it's universal, but also there's some people that I just wouldn't jive with it, and it's like something where they're just like, if you hate puns and you and just like can't get on the same wavelength or something, sight gags and all this stuff, then I don't know, I could just see it turning some people off and people thinking it's just stupid. But I don't know, I thought it was so funny.
I thought it was great. I was like just laughing, dying the entire time. And even though my friend didn't know anything about it, and she is like quite a bit younger than me, of a different somewhat generational group, she thought it was good too once she kind of like figured out what the vibe was.
Yeah, I had a great time with this, and I think I just felt that the movie as a whole was just like so refreshing to see something like this. I know it seems like it's of a bygone era, but just I feel like comedy movies have been slightly stale for a little bit, and so to see some sort of refresh and this just like super crazy, way out there sight gags, puns. I loved all of it. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking with you guys about how I don't know if I mentioned it on the podcast. I probably didn't mention it, but they they had out this whole trailer that they were showing that was like a PSA for saving, in theater comedy, big screen comedy. It was all like showing clips from like, Tommy Boy and 40-Year-Old Virgin and all these things that were like people used to quote these things and now nobody quotes anything because there's not these like big going to the movies and seeing this comedy, and it was all Liam Neeson being super serious and be like, save comedies for us please, like come see The Naked Gun. And I think it's true. Like I know I've read, I can't remember where I've read it, but there's been articles about like how there's so much comedy in all other types of movies now, like the superhero movies and every type of movie, action movies. There's like everything's written with comedy in it. So it's kind of like people are getting their comedy in other places instead of like, these big budget in theater comedies. And I know they're, Adam Sandler's putting stuff out on Netflix and people are putting, there's a new Eddie Murphy, Pete Davidson, like action comedy or something on Amazon. So it's like there's comedies happening other places, but I just feel like those are seen by so few people unless it's like Happy Gilmore 2 or whatever that just came out.
And I think that those comedies are also like always doing something else. Like there's a message or a moral or some agenda of some kind, whereas this literally has, like, you don't come out of here learning anything. It's just jokes for however many minutes, like, every second, and then it's over.
Yeah. Even all the way through the credits. Jokes.
Oh my God. So good. I love credits. So that was just great.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, not that there's really a plot to talk through or anything of this movie, but we do, another thing, I was thinking like, how are they going to make this, in modern days? Cause the previous ones are all a little bit more like hard boiled cop shows. And now this one starts off like, they've got like Lauren Balfe to do the score. And so it starts off sounding like,
Mission Impossible.
Yeah. Or like
there's a face mask.
Yeah. The Mission Impossible, or it's literally ripping off like the start of The Dark Knight is what it sounds like.
That's exactly what I was like. This is like the Dark Knight scene, like epic opening.
Yeah. And it's like, I love that they totally went into like the modern cop shows or modern action cop movies.
And they really played on like Liam Neeson's own persona and, history and what he's, been in before, especially the trailer really like leaned hard on the, he's got a particular set of skills and blah, blah, blah. So it's, I mean, he's always had a good sense of humor, right? But this is just like, oh my God, he really is down to like make fun of himself.
Yeah.
Right. It's like they literally just like dropped him into this movie from Take It or something else.
Yeah. I know there were people previously referencing his role in like the Lego movies as the cop and the voice of the cop in the Lego movies.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Like kind of a similar type of character.
Yeah,
I thought he was great. Like, his face is just like so serious the whole time. And like like you said, literally dropped in from the Taken films or something. It's so perfect.
And then how about Pam Anderson?
Pamela Anderson, back.
So great. Back.
So good.
Yes.
Oh my God, she's so funny.
I think all of them have always had like a femme fatale person who is maybe not known primarily for comedy that then just is able to kind of play it straight, and it just is so funny. And she, perfectly accomplished it.
Yeah, and she plays the character Beth Davenport, aka Cherry Roosevelt, fat lard slurping spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
Miss Spaghetti.
Fat tub of lard eating spaghetti. What an interesting name. Yeah. I know. I just love that like the rest of the movie, the guy's calling her Miss Spaghetti. Are you okay? I just love I will never get enough of these types of movies where someone just, everything is taken so literally. And even when even when a character flat out says something confusing to the other character, they just kind of go like, okay, and they like move on. No one's ever like, what the hell are you talking? You know, like people just like continue on with life, like nothing weird just happened.
Well, and I'm sure that there is a lot of CGI here and there in small ways, but most of the visual gags like feel very real. Like, oh my gosh, it feels like they really built that stupid crane machine for the car, or that they really like ripped out those, fake Tesla chargers, or that kind of stuff. It felt like, well, that
or did they really
built that stuff?
Did they really build the room within the room within the room for the
Yes.
catching the guy in the hospital, then
Oh my
catching
God, I
Liam
hope
Neeson,
so,
and then
because that was
catching-
incredible.
Did you get all that? Yeah. That was great. Oh man, I forgot about the crane game thing. I love that they're all standing there watching, and then when it falls, they're like, oh. Just like a real crane game.
Oh, right
my
before that happened, him making a meal out of putting the glove on and touching everything else with his other hand was like so bad.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Incredible.
I think the first time that I really like laughed out loud really hard was the scene when here, let me pull up his name here. You've got Danny Houston playing Richard Kane,
Oh,
who's like
yeah.
the big bad guy.
So good.
Who's great, and he's like, the whole movie he's got this unexplained scar on his face, and they literally just use it for one like, gag towards the end where he's like moving it on his face. So funny. But the part that I think I laughed the hardest at the very start was when he's like in his bunker talking to all the rich rich people conglomerates or whatever, and they're talking about how like, oh yes, they put together the United States of America, and then other people tried to get in or whatever, and one guy in the audience is like, fish people, yeah, fish people. And he's like, no, not fish people, yeah, people with gills, they got gills. And then they start going on about the crab hands, and that was like, I mean, that
crab
was
hands,
one of the more absurd things that I was just like,
Weird Al.
Yeah, and Weird Al, oh my God.
Oh my God, I love him so much. When they were like, he's the pinnacle of artistic musical performance. That's true. That's true. When the world ends, we need Weird Al in the bunker for sure.
And at the end, when Kane and all those old guys are getting on the motorcycles, he's like, "Come on, Weird Al's waiting."
Yes.
It's just, I love that they set all these things up, and then they just like they use it as just the base reality of the rest of the movie, like the spaghetti thing and Weird Al. They keep coming back to it. They don't just, it's not just like a throwaway thing that just like whatever for that one joke. It's like, nope, that's really how things are.
It's like it is like nothing really is like a throwaway, and things that you think are going to be like the Miss Spaghetti thing, or like the coffee cups. You
my
realize
God.
really quickly, like, oh boy, this is here, and this is going to be a thing throughout the movie. But it's like, the first time they throw it, you're like, oh, LOL, they threw the coffee cups, and then they just keep getting more and more coffee cups. And then they show a table full of coffee cups.
That was like one of the best gags for sure.
Just slamming it down.
I know. Oh my God. That, and like another one I really liked was the internal monologue of all the men watching the woman walk out of the police station, and they're like, she had a body like a blah blah blah, and it zooms out, you just see that every single dude there has his own bullshit internal monologue going on. I was like, oh, it's too real.
But like film noir monologue.
Yeah.
And they're all saying stuff like, she had a body with a head and two legs. And there's one where he says something like, and a butt that'll make the porcelain crown screaming for the
it
brown.
was like
or
the
something.
Toilet begged for the brown or something. It's like, oh my God, what?
So
like,
great.
So sick, but funny.
Yeah, it really was. And then you talked about Danny Houston already, but you have some other supporting people here. I think Paul Walter Hauser, I don't know. Sometimes I like him, sometimes I don't. And this one, I was like, I think a little went a long way. He wasn't too like out there. In a weird way, he was actually more of the straight man, even than Frank Drebin, So
he wasn't like super involved.
Yeah,
He wasn't in it very much.
Yeah, his funniest stuff was like all the way towards the end, I think, with the UFC fight and the beer and all that.
The beers,
the kids,
fighting the kids,
Mm-hmm.
And then we got our we obviously have to have a Lost connection somehow, right? With Kevin Durant in there. he's kind of like, I laughed. I didn't even know he was in the movie, so I laughed really hard when they show him like first off right in the beginning. He gets to have that amazing sequence where he's like spying on the rooftop across the way while Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson are trying to make.
She's cleaning the oven,
trying to make turkey. Yeah.
Oh my god! I mean, that was definitely like the dirtiest part of the movie. All of the other like jokes are very like, I don't know, juvenile is not the right word, but like universal, kind of like not dirty. This part was pretty dirty, but also was sort of like, if you were watching that and you were young and you didn't get it, you'd just be like, oh, weird, you know, like you would you wouldn't really know, like but
and it's just funny
very,
to
very funny.
it's funny to cut to what he's seeing, and then like what's happening inside is like so like charming and just like, oh, they're just goofing around, like, oh, they're playing with the dog, nothing crazy. Yeah,
I think at one point he says like, I don't like that when it looks like he's pleasuring himself on the dog or whatever.
Yeah,
like, I don't like that.
I don't like that. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to talk about this movie other than just like list out like all the amazing things that which, you know, obviously you should go see this movie yourself. I don't want to spoil all the funny stuff, but it's hard to, we won't be able to spoil everything because there's a million things. I think another amazing highlight is the kind of like romantic getaway montage sequence.
The Jack Frost thing or whatever.
With the snowman. They're like doing all these like typical romantic things, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, Pamela Anderson's character finds like a book of spells, and, and then Liam Neeson's like, okay, whatever, and then they're like chanting, and they like bring this snowman to life, and obviously
that was the part where I was
it?
thinking
Have
about
sex with
Tyler
the
the
snowman?
most, because I was like, a very Evil Dead, very, you know, that Michael Keaton movie, and then the other ones where the snowman comes to life and stuff. Ugh.
I do remember from the trailer they show a split-second clip of that snowman running with a gun, and I was like, what the fuck is that even from? Like, what's going to be happening there? I don't even know. I figured it was someone in a suit, not a real snowman.
So I know that there's a lot of jokes in the credits, but I don't know if you noticed that one of them was like, it was like occult consultant. And I was like, I was kind of like, was that a real person that they like consulted somebody on like the occult for that one scene where they're like doing those spells?
They might
so
have.
maybe they did.
Maybe they don't want to offend all the Wiccans and witches and people out there.
There were some in there that like sounded like fake thing, like sounded like potentially real things, but then the person's name was like Nurse Allison or something. So I'm like, if it's not like someone's full name, that was definitely like a fake.
Yeah, I love that they brought that back, because I think that was in all the previous movies, right? Having like funny jokes in the credits, and people just don't do that enough anymore in general. But that was really great. I think there's an eye chart in there eventually. Just some really funny stuff.
It was fun to hear
password.
The password. It was funny to hear people like that was where I really started to notice people in the audience like randomly start noticing, and some guy was like going like, wait, what? And like saying all the things as they came up. That was funny.
Yeah, I think right now with working on a feature film movie set, my friend and I watching it, we're like, oh my god, they had a whole person for that. What the heck? Like, oh my gosh, they have this, because we're so low budget compared to this movie. But then we would see a joke and be like, oh my god, like whether we were watching it so closely. And you know, we didn't book him because everything in our life got so crazy, but our friend and past and future guest Thomas Vu was a stunt person in this movie. I don't know yet exactly what he did, but his name is in the credits in the LA unit stunt performers.
Yeah, I saw.
So I had to stay to see that, of course.
Yeah, I was like, the first time it showed the stunts, I didn't see his name, and I was like, what? I thought he was gonna, and then the LA unit. I was like, okay, there he is. What else did I think was really hilarious? I loved CCH Pounder as the chief.
Yeah.
And the
husband who's
the
got a
ongoing
promotion.
gag
Who's always sleeping.
There's that scene where she like wakes up to a phone call and she's like, "You give me Frank Drebin here right this instant," and then like this split second later he's like in the bedroom. if you wake up my husband, he keeps getting his coworker keeps getting
they're all
promoted
rooting
above
for him.
yeah. And she even brings him into like the UFC state arena like asleep like later on.
But he got his promotion.
That's right. Great job.
Sure did.
So yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
You go.
We all are recording remotely, so that's why
so.
it's been a long time since we did this. But I was gonna say we talked a little bit about the UFC fight and the kids and the beer and all that stuff. And even though like obviously this movie was filmed like probably 2 weeks ago, for all I know, I do still have a few things to say in the Child Star check-in.
Oh snap! Here we go.
Child Star check, Child Star checking in, Child Star checking. They're a Child Star, and we're checking in now.
Okay, so one of they're called fight kids or kid fighters in the credits. These are the kids that are at the fight, obviously. And one of them, JC Naya, was in the Prime Video show The Terminal List, and on Hawaii Five-0. So she's been around cop shows before. But yeah, so she's been in a bunch of stuff and probably will continue to. So I don't know. Like it's hard when the kids haven't done much since the movie. But anyway, Amy Choi is also a kid fighter, and she really has been very active in the fan film community. She starred as an enslaved Jawa in The Dune Sea, which is a Star Wars fan short, it looks like. And then she also is in the upcoming Batman Soul of Gotham fan film. And interesting, she is also a stunt performer and Sam and a trick-or-treater and a dragon in Trick or Treat Sam's Gift, a fan film.
Whoa.
So there's a Trick or Treat fan film.
Oh, I would love to see that actually.
Yeah, we got to find it. Check it out. See Amy Choi from The Naked Gun. And then kind of the main kid that is in this movie and in all the trailers, even some posters, I think, is this little girl who plays like the Girl Scout that Liam Neeson is impersonating when he comes into the bank robbery. And she has not been in a ton of things. She was in some short films, but I think what's kind of funny or interesting about her is that her name is Sailor Luna Bunch. And I'm like, that's got to be a Sailor Moon reference, right? Like her parents just huge anime like people. But anyways, I wonder if she goes by Sailor or Luna or something else. But yeah, interesting. Cool name. When I saw that name in the credits, I was like, that's got to be one of the kids.
Yep.
Anyways, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope all these kids, go on to illustrious careers in the industry.
Yep. Some of them are now caught drinking beer on camera.
Never.
And getting kicked into vending machines and stuff. I think the other cool thing about this movie too is like, we always talk about on this show. We obviously always eventually talk about like reboots and Lego sequels and all this stuff. And I like that this one has like, reverence for the original, but it's not like so you don't need to know anything going into this. You could just watch it. There's like a few small callbacks and like, you can be like Leslie Nielsen's there in spirit as an owl. Later on, right. which is so fucking funny. But like there's just really small things like like in the trailer where they're all like talking to their daddies, cop daddy.
I did think that was super funny because also like in a way it is kind of sending up these sequels that are too married to these things. And it was one of the best jokes in the movie. They did spoil it in the trailer, the OJ portrait. And from the trailer, I really thought that guy was going to be like a character and that was going to go throughout the movie, but nope, that was it.
Yep.
He just walks away.
Yeah.
I think it rewards you for having seen the first movies, but you definitely don't have to.
Yeah.
Anybody, a new generation can get into it.
When they go to that nightclub, you see the beaver. You see the beaver there. That's
I was wondering about that.
Yep.
Okay.
And they even made, like, when we were at the AMC, they have like a whole, like, nice beaver popcorn bucket that's like made to look like that beaver.
That beaver, yeah.
Oh my God, I did not see that because I had to go to a Regal. Or no, actually, it was a Cinemark.
They
Not
had some
even
cool
Regal.
stuff. It was like, it was like the beaver popcorn bucket, and then the soda container had like the police squad, light on the top. Which
I'm gonna get canceled imitating this commercial, but instead of Nicole and A-list or whatever before the movie at Cinemark, they have like a fake gangster film trying to convince you to join their Cinemark club or whatever, and it's some girl coming into a room where they're like gangsters counting money, and they're like, hey, well, I'm gonna make you an offer you can't refuse, and you gotta join the Cinemark club, and like, capiche. And so the girl's like, yeah, I'm gonna be part of the movies. I was like, this is ridiculous. And not Nicole, it's just a guy doing an impression of Godfather Italian person, and I was just like, why? Anyways, they did have some popcorn buckets, but not the same ones. Obviously, they had like a Smurf house, and they did have that same Megan one, actually, the Megan 2.0.
yeah, the face.
But yeah.
They that's like when Jordan, when we went to that like theater in London or in Liverpool that had that their opening thing was like some weird magician guy.
Right.
I was like, what the fuck is this?
There were some different commercials, I would say, too.
Yeah.
There, yeah.
I was like, I don't know what's happening here, but I don't like it. Bring back Nicole.
You've been traveling and doing all these movies,
I know.
different places for the pod.
Just, I'm so dedicated. Just got to fit it in somehow.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What else? I mean, God, yeah, I don't, those are the only like direct callbacks. I do like that they kind of like hit the things that the original film hits. Like, you got the nightclub moment, you got the femme fatale, you got it ending at a sporting event. So they kind of are like following a similar format, which I think works well.
I can't remember. There is like in this one, Pamela Anderson does the like scatting jazz thing, but what are they doing? Is it like a just bad singing, or I can't remember? Is it also scatting?
Yeah, there's someone singing like a super sad song and everyone's like crying. It's like it's like didn't they go to like some place, some like blues club where it's like just
okay.
It's like the blues are just real, everyone's sad there.
I mean, the fact that she did that was just like wild. I was like, oh my God. Like, there always has to be some scene like that where the woman's performing, but I was like, oh.
Yeah, and it's a real song on the soundtrack, and in the credits, like Sassafras Chicken in D or whatever.
Oh my God, yeah, I saw that.
And she says something like, and don't forget to sauce it up a bit. Or
she says, like, make it extra lumpy, I think she says. Like,
oh, extra lumpy, that's what it is.
And the guys are like, okay, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to have to listen to that as his own track.
Okay, I just now am recalling one of the other best gags for me. There's a moment where like they Frank and Beth get in a fight about what's going on, like things come to head that like she knew what's happening, blah blah blah, and then like out of nowhere he's like, what is that? And you're like what the fuck is he like? I don't know. He's like mad about something else now, and then you look over and he's like, is that my TiVo?
Oh my God.
Yes. And what is that coming out of it? I told you not. I lent you this so that you could watch Buffy, and I told you not to put that into. And then he goes on this like super...
Is that a real thing that TiVo people did?
You know what? I never had a TiVo, but it makes sense that would maybe work.
The specificity with which he then went on to describe the Buffy characters and episodes was wild.
No Willow meeting her doppelganger, like all this. It was so funny. It's like, okay, someone who actually watched the show wrote all those jokes.
I can't remember what it was, but there was something else earlier in the film that like made it seem like this Frank Drebin is like rooted in the 90s too. He said something else earlier. I don't know if either of you remember that. And then when the TiVo thing happened, I was like, yeah, he's like stuck in the 90s. I don't remember what that was.
Yeah.
I know this is.
There were a couple rants that he went on and stuff that was just so funny. I mean, God, there's a million. I'm just like, there's a million things. Like the whole ending.
Well, just as like a thought exercise.
Yeah.
What do you kind of think where they should go with this now?
I mean, we can talk a little bit about how it did the opening weekend here. I think it made let's see, it's so far it's grossed 21 million in the US as of the 5th and 15 million other territories, so that's a total of 36 million. So I think it's doing okay. I think the original one also opened to like 16 million or something in the back in the day, so maybe that's not so great with all the inflation or whatever, but I think it's doing okay. I wish it had done better, and so I don't know if it's doing well enough for it to get a sequel, but I would personally love a sequel. It seems like critics would like a sequel. I think they just gotta stick to the formula. Do kind of
I think
like
it's getting people to see the movie, honestly, because I bet that the people our parents' age are like, oh, I bet it's modern now. It's not going to be for me anymore. And people younger than us are probably like, oh, that's for my parents. It's like not going to be for me. Like, just give it a chance and go. And it's pretty universally funny. Like you'd be hard pressed to go to this thing and not laugh at something.
Yeah. I mean, the sad news is it's from Paramount. So when this goes on streaming, it'll be on Paramount Plus or whatever, instead of like going to Netflix, where I'm convinced that when this hits home video, so many more people are going to see it because, there's always trepidation about seeing something you don't know, or because I was kind of wondering how many young people are even aware of the Naked Gun. It's like pretty old trilogy of movies for some comedy that maybe young people don't think is as funny. So I feel like maybe they didn't want to go to the theater, but they'll definitely check it out when it's at home on whatever streaming service. And I think people will then find it hilarious, and maybe that'll be enough to get another one. And I think they just have to, just put them in another stupid situation and, connect the dots between villain, plot, ending, and just put them in all these.
Keep it going.
Yeah, just put them in more hilarious situations.
Jordan, you don't live in LA like us and are not around industry people all the time. So do you hear normal people talking about going to this movie? Did anyone see it that you know?
I don't know anyone who's seen it, and I've talked to at least one person who kind of thought like, I was like, hey, you got to go see this movie, and they were like, I mean, the idea was that they held Leslie Nielsen and the original Naked Gun on such such high regards that they were kind of concerned, like, is it really like that good of a successor to that? Like, who could possibly do what Leslie Nielsen did? There was only one Leslie Nielsen, and like they're never going to come close to that. And I tried to be like, just go see it. It's pretty good.
It's not
and,
exactly the same, but it is, I think, just as good in my opinion.
Right. And I don't know. To me, it's more about like Leslie Nielsen is the one and only, but it's more about like the super deadpan person in the midst of all this like crazy nonsense and the visual gags and everything. So I tried to encourage them to go see it because I think it's totally worth it if you're a fan of the old movies. But I haven't talked to anyone else who's seen it. I've been traveling around too. So
yeah. Well, another thing too that people are pretty excited about is that Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson seem to be dating in real life, and that is broken
crazy
out in the press.
What?
And everyone is like very, very excited about this because of everything she's been through and everything he's been through, and everyone's like really jazzed about it. And I was kind of surprised early on in the movie where they kind of introduced this ongoing gag where he's like, oh, my wife died and blah, 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 because obviously Liam Neeson's actual wife died. And so but you know, that is a trope in cop and action things, as like Christopher Nolan things, you know, that people talk about as like, oh, this specter of a dead wife kind of hanging over everything, and he keeps bringing it up at like weird times and saying weird things about it. I was like, wow, I can't, that's like really, you know, the fact that he's able to, you know, do that is pretty I don't know, brave is maybe not the right word, but like just good for him, I guess. And yeah, and everyone seems super happy that he's with like an age appropriate woman that everybody likes and is having a Anderson Renaissance or whatever, you know.
Yeah, Elis, did you see The Last Showgirl last year?
I did not. Did you?
No, I didn't either, but now I like, you know, seeing her in this. I know it'll be a completely different movie, but I really want to go back and check it out. It was supposed to be amazing, and I just, you know, I don't have as much time, but I need to check it out for sure. It's supposed to be good. I mean, yeah, whatever they do in any potential sequel, like they got to make sure they got to get her back. They got to obviously get Liam Neeson back. It's so funny. Every time I go to say Liam Neeson, I got to like stop myself from saying Leslie Nielsen because it's like the same letters. And I'm like,
oh my God. I didn't even think about that.
My brain keeps going like, which one is it? Did I say the right one? I don't remember. Did I say
Leslie
Liam
Nielsen?
Leslie Nielsen? It's like,
oh my God.
Yeah. It's like, did I say Liam Nielsen? I don't know.
Lily Nielsen.
Yeah, my brain is like, well, make sure you say the right one.
There's a great subreddit called Shitty Movie Details. I don't know if you know this subreddit. It's just called Shitty Movie Details, where people make up like terrible details about scenes in movies. But somebody made that joke that like the only reason they hired Leslie Nielsen or the only reason they hired Liam Neeson is because it's the most similar actor to Leslie Nielsen.
It's really
true.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny.
I'm surprised they didn't make that joke at some point.
They just got to make sure they get all the main three people back, because I hate when there's, I mean, I think it's usually more taken care of these days because everyone signs like multi-movie deals like at the start kind of. But I hate the old sequels where it's like, well, we got one of them back and now it's a different person and maybe they're not as funny, or you know, it's like
yeah, I you know, I totally loved the movie, but I will say like my friend kept commenting like, wow, there's a lot of like Asian actors in as the supporting characters and the side characters, and I think it's because a lot of them were stunt actors, and obviously like a lot of stunt actors sometimes are Asian because they have a martial arts background, etc. But they had a lot of like very prominent roles. I think one of the other cops was Asian, and yeah, there was just a lot of like Asians in very prominent places, but not like as real, you know, characters with like lives. And I think that was, you know, say what you will about OJ Simpson, but he did bring like that diversity to the old movies and was able to kind of like be there for the jokes that just show like how ridiculous racism is in the police force and how, you know, how they treat him differently than the other cops and all this stuff. And so I think in a sequel it'd be interesting to bring that back. Like I can see why they didn't want to do it like right now. They just kind of have a little reference to him, but in the future I think if they can bring in like, you know, more people of color to kind of play against Liam Neeson and Frank Drebin and sort of whatever, you know, stereotypes he might be thinking of, I don't know, that could be really interesting. Because that is a really common cop show thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say Moses Jones he's literally credited as not Nordberg Jr. And then the other actor you were talking about is Eddie Yu, who plays Detective Park, I believe. And
yeah.
He's mostly in a few scenes where they're like, you know, while they're trying to investigate Frank Drebin Jr.
Yeah, well, I think he's at the car claw thing, and he's in the big like room lifting thing, maybe like assisting with that. So that was great.
Yeah, I mean, definitely down for them to add more supporting characters that like actually contribute to the story and aren't just like the villains or whatever. But I do think they gotta get everyone else back. Pamela Anderson, Paul Walter Hauser, CCH Pounder. She's prepared to come back again. But yeah, I would definitely sign up for a sequel. Be there day one.
Absolutely.
You know, I can't even imagine once you get into the sequels now, like what are they gonna? This would be the 5th movie. Maybe they make some funny pun on 5s or something. I have no idea. Like, what are they gonna call? What are they gonna call it? They had the other ones 2.5 and all that stuff. 33 1/3.
33 1/3. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they got to figure something out.
Oh, right. Yes.
It all starts with the title. But yeah, I mean, is there anything else you guys want to mention? I mean, the music is great. I love that Lauren Balfe did a great job. Like, it kind of goes back and forth between that like hard-boiled noir score and into like more modern stuff. I think they did a great job with that. The the fight sequence at the end with the magazine clips is freaking hilarious. There's just like everything's good. Everything's good in this movie. Go see it, please go see it. Take your friends, a group, be great. Tell your dad.
Do you want to just tell your dad? Do you want to just favorite single joke of the movie, like one-liner?
So hard.
Oh man.
I don't know if I thought about it like that.
Yeah. Do you have one, Jordan? What's your favorite?
I just really loved when he was like, when he first meets the whoever the main villain, and he's like, he says Detective Frank Drebin, and he goes, same.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then he's like confused for a second,
like,
and then he's like, Robert Crane, yeah. Or in that same scene when he's like, do you mind if I ask you why? And he's like, no, go ahead.
I like
that is my favorite shit. Like, yeah, all those literal responses. And
I love that kind of stuff. Like, it like just like gets on my nerves when people say stuff like that. Just the extra words like don't mean anything. Sometimes in a sentence, and you're just like, why did you phrase it like that? Just get your point across. But yeah, it was super funny. I don't know if I had just one singular favorite joke. One we haven't talked about yet was she's a true crime novelist who writes about stories that she makes up in her head or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I do think I laughed really hard when he was taking all the guns out and he's like, and a shotgun hiding in her wig, and it was like pulls out a full long shotgun out of her hair. Oh god. That, yeah, I don't know. That stuff was, the whole thing is funny. I do think I might have to go with the TiVo bit for my favorite thing. Yeah. Just so unexpected, and then for it to be a whole Buffy joke, which I love that show.
Like, can you imagine if he had been like, oh, this has The Constant on here, like, or like it has LaFleur, and Lost is my favorite show, and here's the numbers. Like, that's how it basically is.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. It's that
but
good.
for Buffy people and not Lost people. So
it's that good. Oh man. Well, Tyler would usually be here to give us the rating system, but he's not.
Do you have one, Jordan?
Yeah, Jordan, you have something?
Oh wow, I'm not prepared. This is a rating on something out of something.
Yes, I mean it's out of 10 always, but we need to know what it is.
Oh god. Okay.
We put you on the spot. Sorry.
Oh geez, I don't know. So from 1 to 10, one being a busted up, ripped out electric car charger, and 10 being
we're doing it this way.
A massive claw.
Yeah.
What do you rate this?
You know
what? A massive crane game.
Massive crane game. I love the crane game, and honestly, when I went on Letterboxd, I gave this the top 5 stars because I just loved it, and I want them to make more fucking hilarious movies like this. I just wish there were more like Zucker Brother type things out there of these like this type of parody comedy sight gags. It's just like, I feel like watching it feels effortless, but that it like takes so much work to put all that stuff in there and then like track those jokes through the entire movie to find ways you can call back to it. And it's just like, it takes so much work to make this kind of comedy great. And I think they did an awesome job. So I'm going to give it, 10 claw games. And this time the claw picks up the car successfully.
Nice. I'm gonna give it 9 red light penis enhancing devices. If we're doing that scale.
Yes.
Just because I mean, I liked everything about it. I thought it was super funny. And I know I'm like beating the dead horse of diversity over here, but like I do think it's just like you almost have to try to not have any main characters that are like people of color these days. And I know that the CCH Pounder is there as their boss, and there was another cop who was in a few scenes that was black or whatever. But I'm just kind of like, I think this just leaves a lot of opportunity for other kinds of jokes like on the table. And I would like to see them tackle some of that more in the future.
Yeah, fair.
I got to go with 9 red light penis enhancements as well. Not the perfect 10, only because I just think like this is the shortest movie I've seen in a long time. Like it is really short, and I do think like the ending is super abrupt. Like I was like, oh, thank God, there's more jokes in the credits. Like it just,
it does. Just
the whole scene, the like fight scene ends. They stop the motorcycles, they catch the guy, and boom, done. Cut to black. So, I mean, everything else that you guys have said, like it's so funny. The jokes are so great, and they're just nonstop, constant. Like everywhere you look, a joke, and it would be perfect if it's just give us some more. I want more.
I honestly was truly shocked that we went to the 10 a.m. movie, and I'm pretty sure we were out by noon. And I was
how many minutes is it actually?
I think it's like 85 or something. It's not even an hour and a half.
Oh my God.
85
less than
minutes.
an hour and a half.
85 minutes.
Yeah. Wow.
But apparently, there were articles about that, and apparently it was like, well, that the other movies were also that short, so they were trying to like just match that tight timing. There's no fat, but it is hard when the movie's so good. You just want a little bit more.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be 2 hours once they put in the Paramount Plus commercials.
That's true. Good point. Well, hey, I think
so. I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Isn't there, in the midst of like we want more movies like this, isn't there another scary movie coming that's like a parody movie?
I do think that there is one in the process of being made. I don't know how far along they are, but
those ones are like owned by the Wayans, right? Or is it also?
But they still have a lot of the same like visual gags. And didn't the Zucker brothers did one? I think
they started it.
They took over. I think for like
Scary Movie 4. I think
4 and 5 or something. Yeah, they did eventually take over. I'm seeing that. I'm just looking on Wikipedia. It says in April 2024 announced the new film was in development. The film is scheduled to release on June 12th, 2026.
Oh my God.
See, so we might be in a renaissance, a
parody essence.
It says that principal photography already began in 2024, and
who's in it?
I think it's back to the Wayans.
Yeah, I would hope so. It doesn't have a full. It doesn't look like there's a full Wikipedia page for it.
Well,
but it's no longer part of the Weinstein Company, so that's a good thing. The other ones.
There's just so much like ground to cover because horror movies have changed so much and have so many like specific tropes, and so I mean, just even the rebooting and the name conventions alone is like such a thing, and like internet shorts being made into films, and like just wild stuff and lots to make fun of, I think.
Yeah, I think the world is ripe for some new parody movies that aren't like those. Once the Scary Movie ones started to dwindle down, they're just I'm pretty sure they still make them. 1 million of those like straight to streaming terrible jokes like Meet the Spartans and all that crap. Like that was some sort of like 300 type parody. I don't know, like terrible things, superhero movie and all that stuff. Yeah, there were some real bad ones, and I think they're still being made in the background, but people don't even know about them. They're just fodder for the streaming wars.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to more of this quality.
I hope so. Yeah,
let's hope. I mean, it was a miracle that everyone loved this movie. I think it ended up with like a 90%, which is insane for any comedy at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, I think that's going to bring us to the end of our chat about The Naked Gun 2025. Jordan, thanks for filling in for Tyler on this episode here.
Yeah, anytime. Glad to be here.
We'll have to have him send you a gift basket.
Thanks.
But it was great having you, and thanks to everyone here who showed up to listen to their episode of The Naked Gun. Eliz, where can people reach out?
Send us your thoughts, suggestions, emails to sequelrights@gmail.com, and find us on Blue Sky, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at Sequel Rights.
Yep, and rate and review us everywhere you listen to the podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever. Give us those 5-star ratings. It really helps us get noticed by new listeners and, keep us in the charts and everything. It'd be great.
Yeah.
And now this time for real, next time we're going to be talking about The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. For real. That's coming up quick because, we're already, they're already putting out more trailers and we're getting into all the press for Conjuring Last Rites. It's coming up quick.
Also, Annabelle is in the news every 5 seconds.
Oh my God.
Have you been noticing that?
Yeah, we need to have, it's insane. Yes. We will have an Annabelle corner at the start of our next Conjuring episode. It needs to happen. Because there has been the most insane news that you could imagine happening with Annabelle. It's like, what in the world? It's crazy, honestly. So tune in for that next time. Before we go, we have to make sure to leave you guys every week with a lovely AI-generated song. This time, we were under the gun. Everyone's having a busy week. As you see, we're recording remotely. Things are crazy. So this one is a little bit different. It's almost like a Naked Gun theme song or something, like maybe something they'd play in the credits. You'll hear it. It's just called The Naked Gun Returns. And hope you guys enjoy it. We'll see you next time for real for The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It.
He's back in the saddle. No horse in sight. Frank Drebin swagger. Oh, what a delight. Chasing bad guys with a plunger in hand, saving the day but can't understand. Why's the villain always monologuing slow? Why's his badge in the fridge? Who even knows? The Naked Gun. He's second to none, solving crimes while the world comes undone. Clueless and bold, but somehow he's gold. The Naked Gun. Yeah, he's out of control. With a hot dog stand, takes a wrong turn, ends up in a band. Explosions behind, but he doesn't flinch. Fighting crime with a soda and a monkey wrench. The plot's a mess, but who really cares? He's got style and mismatched chairs. The Naked